Welcome to CineCynics.
I'm Craig,
I'm Mark.
where movie reviews of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth.
Lincoln, directed by Steven Spielberg, stars Daniel Day-Lewis as our nation's 16th and arguably greatest president. As the Civil War closes on its fourth year and threatens to continue on into a fifth, President Lincoln seeks to achieve a peace with the rebel South, while at the same time attempts the passage of the 13th Amendment, which would guarantee the slaves the freedom first given to them by the wartime Emancipation Proclamation.
It seems that Lincoln is really kicking off the Oscar season. I would almost consider it to be almost perfect. What would you think of it?
For a film that was entirely a character piece, I was completely riveted. I had no idea where this 2.5 hours went. The interactions between the characters, the dialogue, it was all brilliant, completely engrossing. They're all fleshed out human characters, especially Daniel Day-Lewis. Like so many of his other great performances, he really inhabited the role of Lincoln. He became the president. He beautifully captured that quiet yet profound strength that everyone so associates with the president.
He did do an amazing job. I have to say, if he doesn't win the Oscar, there will be no justice in the Academy.
There will be blood. I mean, there was so many beautiful scenes. I mean, his great oratory and
the way he told stories, they really captured that part.
Yes,
and he just made the story, even it was a joke, he could tell the whole entire joke. It was a very long joke, but then the punchline was even better because he gave us that anticipation of what he was going to say. I think that was beautiful.
And unlike too many other biopics that portray the lives of great people, Daniel Day-Lewis and the movie Lincoln really showed even the more human parts of this figure. He was a man who not only had great mirth, but was also burdened with great sadness, from the loss of his sons and the tragedies of the war all hanging over it. And you can really see the way that Daniel Day-Lewis just brought all of that to the screen.
Yeah, not only in his dialogue, but just the way he walked around the White House and spoke to people, and just the look in his face. There's history in his face and the way he performed it. It's kind of an amazing thing. You don't really see a lot of actors
who are capable
of that.
It should also be mentioned that this movie is replete with a cast of great actors in their own great performances.
Oh yeah, definitely. David Strathairn, Hal Holbrook, Tommy Lee Jones, James Spader.
Yes, as the wonderfully eccentric lobbyist W.N. Bilbo, who
no relation to
to
Hobbit.
Mr. Baggins, who played this part of this lobbyist, who went about on the behalf of President Lincoln and Secretary of State William Seward, as played by David Strathairn, seeking the votes necessary from Congress to pass the 13th Amendment.
Oh yeah, I especially liked how they just sprinkled in a little bit of humor, just so that this whole thing wasn't just such an epic drama, dialogue-driven character piece. Another incredible thing about this movie is just the way it was shot. For something that has such a large amount of dialogue, it was so well shot that it made you pay attention to every single word that either Lincoln was saying or anybody else in the entire film. And it just had movement to it and dramatic sweeps, slow sweeps around Lincoln as he was being talked to, or just a smooth pan in on Lincoln as he's speaking to rally his cabinet to get this amendment passed.
Or some more quiet, introspective moments where we see Lincoln in his famous, in the silhouette of him in his famous top hat as he considers all of this.
You almost see like when you see that through the cinematography, you can see the weight on his shoulders physically and metaphorically.
But yes, as he's burdened by all of the nation's problems, and as he desperately seeks a way to accomplish all of that. This was a really inspiring movie. And in it, you see President Lincoln as one of the most cunning political tacticians this country has ever seen. Someone who was really getting things done in Washington. He took a nation divided and set about the almost Herculean task of healing the wounds of civil war and slavery. When the nation didn't know or was just completely unsure about what was best for its future. You can even see today the very fruits of what Lincoln planted almost 150 years ago. We now have an African American president of the United States. In Lincoln's day, that would have been utterly inconceivable.
So what are we going to give this movie? A yay or a nay?
I vote yay.
I vote yay. So go see Lincoln. If you liked CineCynics, rate, comment, or subscribe.
Also, we have a question for our viewers. What are your favorite political dramas, historical epics, or Steven Spielberg movies?
And we'll put up your answers on the next episode when we review Red Dawn.